All right, today we're going to talk about guns that go bang, sort of. All right, guys. Well, not every single gun that we get to review is tactical and blowing stuff away left and right, but that doesn't mean that these firearms don't have a good place for us. Okay, so today we're gonna go over the Little Badger and the Double Badger, and maybe why, because I haven't seen it out there, why you would pick one over the other. So, bit of a heads up and just throwing it out there. This particular guy is mine, and this is my buddy's, Misha's. So I'm not gonna say which one's better, but no, I'm just joking. What I wanted to go is there actually, a lot of people try to say or speak about which one you should get. So I'm gonna go over why I think maybe one does better than the other in certain aspects. So let's start out with the Little Badger here. So first off, the Little Badger is a whopping, I believe it's 2.8 pounds, so it's tiny, absolutely tiny, just over 2 pounds. I might be off on the 0.8, but it's just over 2 pounds. Shoots 22 Winchester. It has a cool little Picatinny rail here, so people have mounted red dots. So the system that you see on here isn't stock. My buddy's put that on there. He's also put this little spur on there as well. Comes with a little holster, breaks down, bullet holder, breaks down right in the middle, single shot, obviously 22. Very easy to put together, very easy to use. This particular one, obviously, you're gonna have to bring the hammer back in and of itself, so it's not self-cocking like the Double Badger is. This one does have, not for a muzzle brake, but if you were wanting to put a suppressor on there in the States, obviously that's available to you guys down there. Does have a little Picatinny rail on the bottom too, if you wanted to maybe put a pistol grip or something of that nature. So it's kind of cool, the stuff that you can add to it. Now, I mean, there's not really much to talk about. It's basically a barrel that hinges, that you can put a little 22 round in, and you can shoot at birds, ground squirrels, whatever it is. This is truly a survival or backpack secondary rifle. I guess the main difference between this and the one we're gonna go over next is that this is something that if I were carrying a primary hunting rifle, for example, I'm hunting into the bush, weight isn't gonna be the be all end all, and I'm wanting to cook up some grouse, some squirrel, some rabbit, whatever it may be. This is a pretty great gun. Like, it's fairly accurate. He's put some ghost sights on there that are adjustable. You can have the opportunity to shoot a grouse or whatever it may be, and obviously carry a couple hundred rounds on you without much of even noticing it there. That being said, it is a little bit limited. The reason why my friend actually bought a 410 versus this is the fact that it's a lot easier to shoot grouse or birds when they're flying. There's more versatility. So this is a great, I would say, secondary gun or a survival gun to keep in your truck where limited, where you're allowed. Or like I said, if you're big into backpacking and you just want it in case because you got enough spare room to do, I wouldn't say anything negative on it on that side. The trigger is actually fairly decent. I was surprised. And the groups on it, I mean, for a 22 that breaks apart like this and is really just a little bit of metal, you can't really go wrong. You're gonna be shooting probably, within those 20 yards, that 1.5 inch group with open sights. More than what you need to be able to put food on the table in a survival or secondary firearm situation. What I wouldn't use it for, and the reason why I personally didn't buy it, is because most of the time, I don't carry a secondary firearm. I just carry the big gun and bring my, if I'm up in the mountains, I don't really even want another 3 pounds. And he actually was going to bring this on a previous hunt of ours, but decided not to because he didn't want the extra 3 pounds either, or 2.5 pounds, whatever it is. So what I've decided to do is I moved up a little bit and got the Double Badger. So the Double Badger, and like I said, it's not really moving up, it's just moving sideways into a little bit of a different category. So this guy breaks open and it's a double barrel over under and double trigger, 22 on top and 410 on the bottom. So this also comes in two other configurations, a 20 gauge with 22 Win Mag, and I believe it's a 243 and 20 gauge as well. It gives you some versatility on which caliber you're going to use. For myself, I think 410 is probably one of the best grouse guns that you can get out there. It's point shoot, real easy to use, very accurate, and no issues whatsoever. Now, the downside of this firearm is this is definitely not going to be a secondary firearm. This is 5.8 pounds. This is 1.5 pounds less than my Tikka T3 that I use as my primary hunting rifle. So I'm never going to be packing this in the back of my backpack unless I'm just going out for a day, right? Which then I do. So if I'm going out for a day, I don't want to make a lot of bang, a lot of noise, and I still want to shoot a grouse or whatever, maybe a squirrel. I take this in the backpack, no problem. Or I keep it in the back of the quad or the back of the truck, and driving out to the situation, if I see a grouse, I can pull over and blast it. Also a great little camp gun. Accuracy-wise, I find the 22 to be a little bit off. The one thing I'm going to notice about this, the over and under situation, you really do have to learn where to hold. It has a really cool optic on it. It's a ghost ring optic with the dot sight on the boat. Both of them are illuminated, as you can see in this video. So it's really cool on that side. Great optic for the price point, to be fair. It does have a safety. One of the other things that I like about this particular firearm is that it auto loads and it does have an ejector there, so it pulls them both off. The downside of that is, though, the 410 shell comes out every single time. The 22, on the other hand, gets stuck 50% of the time. It's annoying. I'm going to be very straightforward with you. I would say, because most of the time I'm shooting grouse anyways, I use the 410 almost all the time. I very rarely use the 22. The 22 I have used before. I've shot some grouse with it, but the 410 is just so much easier. The option to have both, especially if you see a couple grouse and you can plop off on both triggers and take one of each, is pretty cool as well. So I have done that. Realistically, I use the shotgun as the primary weapon on this particular, or the primary load. Like I said, it does have a pretty intuitive safety, just a slide forward safety on it. At the very beginning, it's getting a lot easier now. Now it pretty much falls apart. Just to notice when you do get it, Chiappa guns in general, just a little bit rougher. They're not Henrys or anything like that. That being said, it has loosened up. So just note that if you do get this and it's sticking, it's a little bit hard for it to break open. Mine was pretty difficult at the beginning and now not so much. So it does loosen up over time. Would I get this firearm again? Yeah, I do carry this pretty much with me all the time when I'm in the bush. Either in my backpack if I'm just hunting from my camp out for a deer hunt or something, it's a secondary weapon on that portion. If I were ever to go mountain sheep hunting or something like that again, no, I would never carry anything like this. It's too heavy. But it's good to have in the quad, good to have in the truck, good to, maybe you tagged out in your deer and you just want to go for a walk, and if something pops up, you can. You can sling it over your shoulder. It's got sling mounts attached to it as well, where this guy, FYI, doesn't. Not saying you can't add them, but it doesn't. All in all, it's an awesome little small game learning tool. My son's gonna use it when he can carry it. It's a little bit heavy for him right now, but I would highly recommend taking a look at one of these guys. And also the 410 shot pattern, depending on which you use, and this does take 3-inch 410 as well. So you can get a little bit of kick. You can throw a slug. So let's say you wanted to have a little bit of protection, throw a slug in there at 22. You're gonna have a little bit more protection. I mean, 410 is not known for grizzly gun by any means, but you do have that option anyways. Once again, not to kill this guy, but if you are looking for something that you're gonna keep, and just in case you crash beside the road, you really want survival and you wanna have 400 rounds with you and barely feel it, this is gonna be really cool. If you just want a small 22, if you are going on, if we're gonna go maybe on a 15-day backpack hunt out into the bush somewhere, 2.8 pounds when you're carrying that much stuff is not really that big of a deal. So I would probably carry that as well. All in all though, it's more or less, are you gonna use the 22? Or are you gonna use the 410? Which one do you prefer? Which capabilities do you like? Is light very important to you? Because if it is very important to you, then you can't get much lighter than 2.5 pounds roughly. Also a great gun, very accurate, no real hiccups or troubles in between. If you're looking at any of these, I would just suggest feeling them for yourself, putting them up to your shoulder, see how comfortable it is to shoot, and really getting a good feeling for yourself. I really like this particular one. I love the sights on these. Like what it comes from stock is pretty amazing. Especially when I have astigmatism, very easy to shoot, very easy to acquire target because it's nice open peep sight there, ghost ring sight, sorry. I definitely recommend taking a look at that if you're into break action, double barrel, multi-caliber type deal. I would take a look at both of these firearms if you're looking for a secondary backup rifle or a camp gun. And for the price points, you're in that $200 to $350-ish price point. So really, really good bang for your buck if you like small bangs. Anyways, thanks for joining my channel, guys. Please comment, review. If you want me to review any other future firearms, please put those down there. I love to read the comments. I respond to every single one. Subscribe, hit that notification button, and I will see you on the next one.